Shalom, family. Glory be to God, and blessed be the Lamb on this chilly Sunday morning. Capitalism. I guarantee that most of America's residents don't have a clue or an idea of what capitalism is, or the mechanics of it, or the beginnings of it. This is a fact. I'm pretty sure a fact, overwhelming fact. They said wealthiest country in the world. Good old American capitalism. Whereas get what you can any way you can, as long as you do what you do within the known social order of things. That's what capitalism is here. Any and everything goes with total disregard of this destruction. Well, as it goes, which really isn't capitalism anymore. The difference is between capitalism and all of the other isms is the other isms are based on the health and welfare of the people. Capitalism is based on the health and welfare of individuals. So individuals, their power, rights, benefits, and privileges outweigh the health of the rest of society itself. Listen, capitalism guts itself out. This is not its first go-round, and it shows no relation to free market principles as John Adams would, I think that's the man's name, I'm pretty sure, would have had it. Capitalism has, you put money of value on everything. It controls everything. It doesn't matter who it hurts. Here's an example. As I speak, rates you are, like as if they're just like you. And what does your government do? Nothing, because of capitalism. Because of capitalism. Out of the same AI industry, they have managed to get into legislation, at least to the level of a bill, that would make it impossible to regulate them in any kind of way at any level of government. Of a photographic memory. It's kind of there. All I have to do is look at it. It's there. 32% of all entry level jobs wiped out, and we're talking about entry level white collar jobs. White collar jobs. But let's take a step back and see the enemy's strategy. Your enemy, God don't got none, because we gonna whoop them. We waiting on his enemy to show up and say, we are the enemies of God. Not for very long. And they were after. They're not that smart. They're not that smart. The spiritual aspect of it may benefit them, but that's not why they did it. They did it for other motivations. First of all, somewhere along America's development, in their eyes, they being the ruling class and the government who is controlled by the ruling class, they call them their donor base. Okay? They decided together that you were no longer, not just on black folks. Let's get away from that because it knocks the shit out of us. We started going to jail. Listen, When it happens to us, the process is immediate and it's in your face. We started dying from drugs, going to prison, losing our homes. You know what I'm saying? It's all this bad, 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 bad. Anyway, but on the rest of America as a whole, that's just a facet. What does it do? It provides a buffer between those who would be ruled and who are assimilate. And everything was cool. Post 1996, everything ain't cool. Everything ain't cool. But anyway, that'd be the left side of the bird. Wages, cheap labor. Who wants that? The the corporate heads, the corporate owners, cheap labor. They can't work you like they work. I can't think of a nice way that's not offensive. Foreigners who have came here who don't everything, which is a travesty. It is sad when that it don't sound sad to you that I can say that money drives and buys every facet of life in America. I mean, I could go down the line and you would be insulted. Trust me, you would be insulted. So I don't want to insult you on a Sunday morning. Plus, it's a morning most pleasant, most pleasant. But that's just one facet of it. Let's look at the right side of it now. Make an entire industry off limits to the reach of regulatory law completely, no matter how much damage it does. Now, who's benefiting from all this largesse of government? You guys can see the image, and I thought that black people had this problem of knowing what the reality is, but your responses are all wrong. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if a man runs by you, once the system starts to game itself, once private individuals have gained so much power in any manner, and the only way that they could do that is through the acquisition and the maintenance of money, and they got so much of it that they're writing the law themselves at this point. What kind of person want to be beyond the reaches of the law? Not a good one. Not a good one. And again, I ask you, who are the beneficiaries of all this movement? I can't add sound effects. It thinks it's always an accident. At any rate, so let's get back to AI. So you have wages being driven down over here. Housing prices are out of reach. Homelessness is growing. You have entry level jobs are down 32%. White collar, but y'all don't get yourself in trouble. These people that went to college and can't find no jobs, and they're bragging about it. The corporations will not have to hire them, just like it did. First it was black men, and then it was black women. Like right now, they ass in trouble. As a subset of the general population, they are targeted, and thousands of them have been laid off. Just this year alone, at least 400,000. Half of them middle class, professional, at least. And I'm being conservative. I'm being conservative with the numbers. So now we're going to dance a jig party night and get drunk and have sex. Stop, Daryl. It's Sunday morning. Wait, with their silly ass running their ass around there, being happy slaves. I don't like a happy slave. I don't like a happy slave. Happiness is unnecessary if you're a farm animal or slave. There's no real need for you to express happiness nor joy or look for fun time. Wake up. You should only be thinking how to escape the plantation or to whiten it. And they don't care. I'm talking about the government, which is not the government. Uh, Listen, until you are willing to see reality, and the reality is a certain group of people, a certain set of people run by race, either or religion is ripping your asses apart. Now, I don't know how far in your white minds that equality based on whiteness go, I mean, does it end in like I was born, grew up with Andersons, Banks, Barnes, Jackson, Johnson, Adams, Calvin's, Calvin Sons. You see where I'm going with this? Pre-Gene, if they had some French in them. The Jacobson, Kelly, Lee. So I can go on and on by alphabet. See, we recognize all these damn names now, don't we, fellow slaves? Oh, raise your hand. See, we recognize all those names because we carry them goddamn names. I'm not trying to stir nothing up. I just want to make sure that we all on the same page. No, no, no. That we're seeing the same thing. So I asked, how far, as per whiteness, do your idea of privilege and the benefits of being white as a social class and your liberty. When I say freedom, what I'm really trying to say, your immigration policy as it pertains to white people and make them respect you. Use words that you already know that they have to look up in a damn dictionary, like you did right before you used it. Don't tell them I did it. I used a thesaurus. I look for every word. Anyway, all of it in an effort to fool your ass. I'm as dumb as your ass is. At any rate, at any rate, as they, as I mean, are we seeing this? Do we have to go down the list of wealthy billionaires? When I see Mr. Barnes, and Mr. Barnes as a white guy, I look at him sideways, and then he don't look at me. You know why? It ain't for the reason that you would think. He knows that I'm a family member, and he owes me money, and he done took my first he took my personal inheritance, and now I've been kicked out the family, marginalized, ostracized. He stamped my ass. He knows I'm his. He knows I'm his child. God has got, you know what? I'm going to knock on Mr. Barnes' door. He's going to have to call the police. They're going to think I'm crazy as hell, but you do get my point. You do get my point. We know them. We don't know them. And this unknown factor has ripped your country apart. Ripped it apart. Each successive generation coming from Eastern European or otherwise European countries or African, and these days places like Argentina that still think they're Hispanic. Even though their skins and their lives and livelihoods are completely Western oriented, they just look at themselves like we're just a little slice of whiteness, and politicians and your women are for sale. As, as as well as a glass of water, though. And that's my point. I just can't bear it. I can't bear the lie. I can't. If I was some hysterical chick, I would probably say, I can't take it anymore, and fall on the floor and start to wiggling and crying and screaming in the form of a nervous breakdown. This is it. I can't live your life. And anyway, let's move on. But things are changing. We are expecting 30% of white young 25-year olds who won't be able to find jobs, own a home. Hell, they won't even be able to own a fucking pet. They will be living with their parents, annoying the fuck out of each other for God knows how long, causing all kinds of social ills. This is irreversible. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. You arrived at the perfect time. Training just now started. Everything was cool. Gut each other out then. Gut the shit out of each other. But then they started looking at you as a commodity. You being human beings. And by human beings, I mean stand upright and bipedal. You are a commodity to be made money off of. And when you became ungovernable, what you thought that I forgot. When you became ungovernable, they got upset and they openly said, imagine a bunch of spoiled rich ass brats that's never worked a day in their damn life. That's the truth. Welcome to America. Welcome to America. That is the truth. But back to what I was asking, making my point here. We see that liberalism of white immigration policies have impacted them. They come to a system of largesse where they have money, but where they're from, they have not the same benefits and rights. Money don't have the same bang for the buck. Maybe we only have to wait for the 90%. You know how much social media at this point is AI generated? And you don't know if you're talking to a robot, a image. This image will make comments, have you commenting back to it, recommending you look at other videos. This is all artificial. What the hell? And watch what your politicians. We got noise. Okay, I'm a carpenter. I know sheet rocking. You can sheet rock up to different grades, level 1, level 2, and level 3, which is the finish. Okay, you got robots who can take this shit to finish in half the time, less than half the time than a 5-man crew. 2 robots half the time spent than a 5-man crew. And they don't have to pay the robot nothing. That's the beauty of it all. Grease his ass up, and they're out to destroy you. Liberalism, another import from another country's mindset. It's not a what's the word I'm looking for? It's not native to the mindsets of what we would think of as Americans. And what is an American? So I'm going to figure this shit out. How much of your own culture do you get to retain? How much of your own culture and consciousness and food and dance and music and so on and so forth do you get to retain part of it? Yes, you are. I am 100% sure that you have within you the same things that your grandpappy them had within you when they seen a bunch of bullshit and the others would not listen. Guess what they started doing? Looking for their musket and talking amongst each other. Anyway, you're going to get yourself out of this because nothing forms a better um, um, uni- unifying force in an organized that they stole. They didn't own it. They just made your ass believe it, and they had enough belief in in the countrymen around them, and they believed it, and so that they could give them a little something, something to keep your ass off of it, and it just kind of sprung out from there. But they paid nothing for it. They walked up and said, "That looks like a mighty fine piece of property. I think that I'll be having it for myself." And then they had it for themselves, and then they went to selling it, but it was never theirs. Never theirs from the start. But words like that sound like an act of digression. Listen, you're going to get yourselves out of it. Nothing flies, nothing leaves. Okay? They are gutting the country and they're openly saying it. They're openly saying, as I speak, that there's not enough jobs. They, as they wipe out jobs, there's not enough jobs. This is what your alarmist as economists by party label and the government, there's not enough jobs. Well, hell, this the same people that just allowed 20 million strong to come over here. Now the same people today. You in trouble. Nobody's going to be responsible for anything. Meanwhile, you got millions of people who are already think that AI is a god without understanding AI is you. So you enter self-worship again. All of AI's information come from you. I made a phone call and the AI outright told me it was AI, but it was still learning. I don't want to teach you anything. Being forced to train your replacement. I've seen that shit. I've seen it. They have been to move this guy and from his position into another position that he does not want. He does not want. And they tell him, well, I mean, it's kind of late because we've already hired someone else for the position you're in. Ain't this a bitch? So you will be requiring a little training, and it's an extra dollar per hour. What's the who's boss? Who's boss? Now if you want me to tell you who's boss? As a black man, you want me listen, maybe I have to refresh the boss's memory. Because I'm not too fond of the boss, and the boss is not too fond of me. We try to leave each other alone, even though he knows he's the boss. And I know I'm the slave. Do you want me, listen, rest of white people, do you want me to tell you who the boss is? Okay? Well, I'm going to tell your ass anyway. I mean, this is important because this is how, huh? Okay, now you get it. God damn it, you too smart by half. Now you get it. Then, hold on, right behind them comes the next generation, which they've been here long enough to say that I'm not gonna, anyway, you know what I'm going. This is when you get to your first generation of strange sounding names that sounded like they were actually foreign names. Yet they were. Pepper them did and say enough's enough. We're not going to, and it may be too late. And you're gonna have to find God, and you're gonna have to find Jesus. All the shit that you don't want to do, okay? Because otherwise, you think that we were slaves. You're gonna be slaves, and you won't hold up like us. They're gonna drive you to us anyway, because we are where you always run. We are where. Listen, all of your cast outs, somebody else selected by the government drive their ass around and fill their bellies. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. I am Source. I am 7. I am 1.